Hi again, everyone, and welcome to Base Sunday. I'm your host, Frank Malakote, and Happy New Year, everyone. We've got another award-winning show. We at least hope so today. We're going to tell you what's hot in the tech world. We're going to talk about a very prominent San Francisco neighborhood and introduce you to a nonprofit making a big difference in the community. But first, we'd love to hear from you. If you'd like to connect with us or pitch us a show idea, go to cbssf.com, click on Connect, and scroll down to Base Sunday. All right, we're going to kick it off with a return visit from a man that has spent the bulk of his career blogging and consulting on all things high-tech. And this past year, he's combined his love for education and the tech world with the Tabula Project and how to integrate the use of tablet computers in schools K through 12th grade. We'll talk about that. He's also going to tell us about some of the studs and some of the duds when it comes to tablets. Please say hello to Oakland's Noah Kravitz. How are you?
I'm good. Happy New Year.
Good to have you here.
Thank you.
Well, what's the first thing? Because there's so many out there right now. What can you tell our viewers to just kind of dumbify it, simplify it? What do we need to know about a tablet before we go out and buy it?
First thing you need to know is Apple's iOS, Google's Android, or now Microsoft's Windows 8, or Windows RT, or Windows 8 Pro. It gets a little complicated. But basically, do you want to go, it's the same thing it's always been in computers. Do you want to go Apple, do you want to go Google, or do you want to go Microsoft?
Well, you brought a little bit of everything here. Why don't you take us through? You want to kick it off with Apple there?
Absolutely.
You got a couple. You got the Mini and the iPad, the bigger version. There.
Right. So we have the full-size iPad. This is the latest generation. This one starts at $499. And the new iPad Mini, which every time I go near an Apple store, this is the one the teenagers and the older folks are. Yeah, absolutely. And this one starts at $329. They do the same thing. One is bigger, one is smaller. And that might be, over dumbifying it, but the smaller form factor is really, I personally really like it. And I was talking off camera with some of the folks here, and people are just really charmed by it. It's lighter, thinner, easier to hold. It does all the same things, all the apps, the web browsing, everything else. The one big difference in this version is that you can only get the so-called Retina display, which is the ultra-high resolution display on the full-size iPad. Mm-hmm. The Mini does not yet have the Retina display. That'll probably come next year.
But does that make a difference? I mean, we're kind of squishing grapes here, aren't we, a little bit?
We really are. We're squishing grapes. Yeah, to me, no, not at all.
The one thing, I just bought the Mini 5 or 6 weeks ago, and I went from Kindle Fire, and I got a hand the size of catcher's mitt. I can wrap around the Kindle Fire and some of the smaller tablets. They made that just big enough where your hand starts to cramp up a little bit.
Right. Well, that's the perfect transition into this little beauty. This is the Nexus 7 from Google. It's actually made by a Bay Area company called Asus, but it's branded under Google. They have a Nexus line. They have a 10-inch tablet now. This is the 7-inch. And they also have a smartphone. This runs Google's Android operating system, and it does all of the same basic stuff: web, social media. You can take photos with it. You can obviously do your email.
And you love it, right?
And
that's your personal preference.
I love it for two reasons. One is the price. This starts at $199. So, not quite half the price of the iPad Mini, but close. And the second is exactly what you said. You might have a little bit bigger hand than me, but mine's pretty big. And this one just fits really nicely for one-handed use and for reading. It's got that widescreen form factor for video watching. And I've really become enamored.
And the price point too, because if you can get it's $329 for the Mini.
For the Mini, right?
But if you're going to go up to 64 gig, or
you can easily
spend $500 on that thing.
Walk into an Apple store, drop $500 on a Mini, up to $700 or so on the full size, and then you have to deal with this, which is the new Lightning connector, the dreaded cord. For this generation of iPads and iPhones, they changed the cord connector. So all of your old cords, docks, speaker docks, all that stuff, no longer compatible unless you spend another $30 on, and you get one cable in the box. But
right.
Yeah, exactly. Whereas with the Nexus 7 fully loaded, about $250 if you can find it in stock.
And quickly, this little baby here from Microsoft.
Right.
So we'll turn him on there. He's a little sleepy.
He's a little sleepy.
Yeah.
So this is the Microsoft Surface. Microsoft is going through a big sort of rebranding process right now. Change the whole look and feel of their operating system for phones, for desktops with Windows 8, and now they have a tablet. This is the Surface. This starts at, I believe, $399. This particular version is the fully loaded 64 gigs. $699 comes with one of these guys, the touch cover. So they have the touch cover and the type cover. These are keyboards that magnetically dock So you use this like a touchscreen. It's a tablet, and you use it like a touchscreen. You can
Which
dock
is nice,
onto it
but
to
it's
type.
almost a glorified laptop, really, isn't it?
It's Microsoft. You hit it on the head. Microsoft really, one of the critiques or one of the strong points, if you're a fan of the system, is that this new version of Windows really tries to do it all. Whereas with the iOS, iPad, and iPhone, and now Google Android, they've really said, okay, this is the tablet. Our laptops are separate. Microsoft's kind of trying to do it all in one, and they're working out the kinks, I think.
We're out of time, but we're going to have you back talk about phones in a couple of minutes.
Would love to. I could talk all day.
Well, I know. So could I. We do a whole half hour on this stuff. But thank you so much for being
Thanks
with
for
us,
having me.
Noah. If you'd like more information, you can contact Noah on his Twitter account at Noah Kravitz. Back with more Bay Sunday right after the break. Stay right there, folks. I wish we